Hey. Oh, it feels so weird being on camera. I'm sitting in my dining room looking out the window at the trees blowing in the wind, and it's my first full day off after being on night shift. So I've come on today to film and record, I guess, that I had an astral projection experience this morning at around 3:30 a.m. and I'm sharing my experience. It was really cool, and I want to document it because I want to look back on it one day and, refresh my memory on it. Mind you, when I say that, I say it lightly because I've had 3 or 4 other, I think I've had 4 other astral projections now within the last 10 years, and which isn't many in that long period of time. A lot of the time I felt myself going into that kind of state of mind, but stopped myself from going into it because it's kind of scary. But I've really gotten past the fear point now, and I didn't think I ever would. If you have any knowledge of astral projecting, or if you've done it before, you'll know what I mean. It can be really confronting at the start because it's not something that's talked about, it's not taught to you in school, and consciously leaving your physical body and taking your consciousness to a different dimension and being aware of it is super wild for our human experience, and it's something that all of us can do. I'm no expert, I'm not spiritually gifted. We're all spiritual beings living in a physical body, and I'm just here to share my experience. So went to sleep, woke up at 2 a.m, come downstairs, made some muffins for my husband. Anyway, life of night shift. Coming off nights can be a bit hard to get to sleep again for the first night if you're working in the AM. So it got to around 3 a.m. I was still lying on my back. I wasn't on my phone by this point. I was just chilling out, and then I noticed my body go through the motions of trying to get me to go to sleep. So I noticed like a few twitches and started seeing pictures, and I was like, oh yeah, that's my body trying to get me to go to sleep. And I stayed aware of my body trying to go into a sleep state. So I let my physical body go to sleep, but my mind, I kept awake and aware. Within a really, really short period of time, I was vibrating. So I'll go into it a bit more in a minute, but when your spiritual body or your consciousness is going to leave your physical body, you'll go through a vibrational state where the only way I can explain it is it's like you're asleep, and in your eyes you can feel vibrations, and it's like real quick. I've had other astral projections where the vibrations were insanely intense and my whole body felt like it was, and then boom, you're out of your body and you're looking back at the bed and you're like, holy crap, I'm out, I'm here, I'm out. So last night's one was weird. It was just and then I rolled my physical body out of I rolled my spiritual body out of my physical body and looked back and was floating, and I looked back at my body and I was like, holy crap. I didn't let myself get too excited because I knew if I got too excited, I would have probably just woken up or snapped myself out of that mind state. So I was like, cool, yeah, I'm astral projecting. This is fucking sick, basically. Calm down. I calmed myself down and just was present in the moment. Everything was really dark blue, glowing, really, really dark blue. The only way I can explain what the astral realm or the spiritual higher dimensional realms look like is like Avatar, the movie. Everything, I don't see bulk colors. It's more or less everything's really, really, really dark blue, almost black. And then if you see beings or whatever, they're more or less a glowing figurine of some kind. So, left my body, looked around the room, and I didn't really have much of an interest in staying earthbound. I was like, no, I'm gonna leave Earth or fly into the sky. So I flew out the front window, through my bedroom window, and flew off into the night sky towards the stars. The way that I can explain how you see is that, like, I remember as I was flying out the window towards the stars, I remember like trying to really open my eyes. I had a decent amount of clarity, but it was like at the same time I was aware that I was in bed and that I wasn't looking through my physical eyes, I was looking through my third eye. I was looking through my mind's eye. And I accepted that I'm not going to have an insane amount of detailed clarity to some points. This is just my personal experience. Some may have a completely different experience, but they're all similar because at the end of the day, astral projecting is astral projecting. Tongue twister. So flew off into the night sky and I didn't have any expectations. I was just being in that plane and feeling the energy field of it. Anyway, something happened and it was really unreal. Really, really unreal, to the point that I'll never forget it, and it like almost brings me to tears of happiness in a way. I'm gonna cry again. I cried before when I filmed before and I cancelled. So flying through the night sky, looking at the stars, just flying and feeling an immense amount of happiness and joy and gratitude. I showed a lot of gratitude during this astral projection, and it kept me really centered. I think when you astral project, if you're not continuously giving yourself a lot of grace and gratitude, you will manifest the other side very, very quickly, I think, because manifesting and attracting in the astral plane is bloody instant. It is instant. You know, in this physical world, sometimes it takes time to manifest. In the astral, she's instant, man. Anyway, so yeah, I'm flying through. I'll finally get there. I saw what I thought was like a massive bird, because it was just flying. The wings were like real slow, sort of coming towards me, but going past me. Like it was coming into the direction of me, but like it went right past me. A massive white owl kind of creature, bird. And now I realized that it was actually an angel. The presence was unlike any kind of presence I've ever experienced in my entire living life or astral life. I've astral projected 4 other times before within the last 10 years, and this was probably the most profound because of that presence of that animal or being. I'll say being because it was unlike any presence I've ever felt. I didn't have an interaction with it, them, it, whatever it is. Honestly, I'm going to go with angel. It's the only thing I can express that matches the frequency of this thing. It was slow with its wings flapping and gliding through the air like nothing I've ever witnessed in my life. And it was a glowing white. That's all that happened in my astral projection, was experiencing that. And it might sound really petty or small, but the experience was unlike anything. It gave me an immense amount of joy, clarity, divine feeling of power, I guess, in the moment. And yeah, this video is super weird probably to some people, but having that experience was incredible. It's such a centering and amazing thing to have an astral projection. We can all do it. Like, We're all physical, spiritual beings on this planet, and this is a vehicle. This body we've been given, is a vehicle for our soul to experience life as a spiritual person. Because at the end of the day, we've got a consciousness, we have a soul body, and energy cannot be destroyed. And it only moves to a higher dimension once we die. Once this physical body dies, our spiritual body will go to a higher dimension, because energy cannot be destroyed, it can only move. So it'll move on to another thing. Some people say, or some heavily evolved souls will say, that our consciousness can shift to a tree, a rock, and stay present within that item, that thing, for a period of time, and just experience life, experience Earth. And once we have experienced all things, I mean all things, a boat, a car, a house, a dog, a cat, all animals, all things, do we go back to our source power. There's a part of me that deeply believes that to its core, that we are a soul energy, and our God or our soul energy has come from a higher power, of a source of energy, a giant source of energy from another field of unknowing that we don't really know to confirm in this wake life, this waked life, woken life, this physical life, whatever. And we're like a piece of the puzzle from that massive field of energy, and that's why we are all super special in our own way. We're all a chip off the block. We're all one to our core, I think. And if you strip away all of our life experiences, if you strip away the trauma people have been through, you know, we're all born pure. We're all born without any conditioning, and at the end of the day, no matter who you are, we're all one. It's so easy to get wrapped up in, you know, the everyday life sometimes. When these moments happen, they're so awesome and wholesome. You know, the stresses of daily life and jobs and stuff can distract you from what matters. I get wrapped up in it all the time. But when I feel this way, I really just take it in, because it's really incredible. Anyway, I'm getting off topic a little bit, but I came on to talk about my astral projection experience. That was my experience. Once I had experienced the owl or the angel, I wanted to come back to my body. I noticed it was very, very, very easy to go off path to a darker light. The astral world is phenomenal. It is phenomenal, but you feel really damn vulnerable when your consciousness is flying around in a dimension without a physical body. And let me tell you, my other experiences have been damn good, but there's parts of them that have kept me from wanting to do them again for a reason. Your gratitude and your affirmations in an astral projection are prominent. They need to be your absolute focus during an astral projection, because if you get off topic, and I mean not aware of the field you're in, and you just dabble in different beings, talking to random beings, you're the one that's manifesting that and creating them to become present with you in that moment, and you may be guided the wrong way or taken the wrong way, and you don't want to affect your energy in the woken life. So be careful on where you visit, be careful on venturing to people you know's homes, and all that kind of stuff, because you don't want to dabble in the wrong areas and be too inquisitive in that way, because I think you just don't want to attract anything negative in your work life, because I feel like you might get a bit of karma. That's just my take on it. I don't go to visit people. I think it's wrong, but yeah, those are my morals, so do whatever you want, but yeah. Anyway, this world is crazy. It's an amazing life. I use these techniques and astral projection and centering myself, meditation, running, fitness and health, and eating healthy very seriously, because when I am off track in those aspects, life doesn't feel as fulfilling and as centered for me. That's why I don't really go off the track at all, ever, because I don't feel as good. And I like to look back on, or itchy nose, sorry. I'm not actually picking booger, I'm just itching the edge of my nose because it's so itchy. Yeah, off track. I like to have clarity, and I like to have a vision of my future and keep my past like the vision. So when I look back, and don't get me wrong, I go off path, I go off track all the time, but generally 80% of the time, 90% of the time, I'm on track. And it's because if I don't stay this way, I can easily get sucked into drama, other people's, things can suck you in, your energy can get sucked in easier to other things in life, get caught up in work drama and stress. So staying centered and continuing to move forward, eating quite healthy, whole foods 90% of the time, and exercising. I look back on my days and I'm like, yesterday I exercised, I ate healthy, today I'm feeling great. If I go a month or two and I'm not really feeling it, I'm not using discipline to stay centered and grounded, I will feel that the month later, So this is just my personal spin, my personal life stuff, and I feel like it has a huge impact on why my mental health is in such a good state of mind. I'm not saying that, this is for everyone. I think it probably is, mostly because, I think it can solve a lot of issues if you focus on the top 5 human physical needs: sunshine, exercise, whole foods, lots of filtered water every day, focusing on gratitude every day will manifest and attract some incredible things in your life. Man, if you're lost, if you just need to grip onto something to get you by, focus on those 5 things without any expectations, and just focus on them and use discipline to get them done. Man, 90% of the time I don't feel like going for a run. I don't feel like going to the gym. I go anyway, and then sure enough, 10 minutes in, 5 minutes in, Sometimes only when I'm finished do I feel that real rush of freedom and happiness and belonging and just wholeness in a way, just from getting it done. I think, it's funny, I look back on my younger days and there were times where I used to think, oh, you must be so wrapped up in what you look like to go to the gym every day or run every day and care about yourself like that. There was a time in my days where I used to think people who exercise were obsessed with themselves and what they looked like. That is not the case. That is so far from the truth. That was back in my early high school days, year 9, year 10. I used to think that people that were super, super fit and into health and fitness were, obsessed with their figure, obsessed with being lean and fit looking. And I based it and thought of that solely on the physical. It was only really when I was at the end of high school and moving on to my adult years where I realised that that's the lowest part of the reason why. You do it for your mental health, you do it for your physical, you do it for your spiritual, you do it for your partner, you do it for your family, your longevity, your wholesome feeling moments, and to fulfill your potential. And if you're not focusing on the discipline in those aspects, you can get lost and have a lot of shame about yourself if you're not fulfilling your psychological human needs. Something that's not talked about enough, I feel like, is getting your psychological needs met before anything, without any excuses or thoughts. Are you feeling depressed? Are you feeling like you have brain fog? Do you not know what you want? One way to know if you have brain fog is you don't know what you want. What do you want? Do you want to feel good? Do you want to wake up with feeling like you've got a path ready to go? You've got this path that you want to follow to get to a certain point and then continue to get to a higher point. Like, some people don't know it, but they've got an insane amount of brain fog. And heck, there's sometimes where I have brain fog. I ain't saying I'm no saint. I'm not saying all this because I think I'm better than anyone. I'm just here living life and I'm sharing it because maybe it'll help one person or help half a person. And you know what? If it does help half a person, damn, I've achieved what I wanted to achieve making this post. But we are all here experiencing life, and it's school. Life is school. We're here to evolve. And if you're not evolving in some way, shape or form by focusing on being better in a certain aspect of your life every day, then you got to find it. Find a way to be better. Reflect on yourself, reflect on your actions, reflect on what you've said in a day. Do you feel good about what you've said that day? Are you proud of yourself? Do you feel a bit of shame about something that you've said? Did you exercise? Did you choose healthy whole foods mostly that day? I'm not saying you can't eat Maccas or Hungry Jacks. I'm just saying that your focus should be on the discipline in eating whole foods 80 to 90% of the time. Exercising most days, whether it's going for a walk, whether it's going for a run, going to the gym, doing a home workout, walking your baby, taking a dog for a walk, laying out on the grass, doing 10 sit-ups in the sun, moving your body, you're removing toxins faster, your lymphatic system is getting pumped, you're releasing endorphins, which is your body's natural ability to feel like you're on drugs, literally. Your body has compounds to make you feel high on life. That's how insane our bodies are. Yet people choose to take the quick fix. And I've been there, man, and it's fucking shit. quick fix of taking a pill like I've never taken drugs, never gone down that route. But what I mean is, you know, taking that sencha green tea to quickly expel your colon and weight loss medication bought off eBay back in 2009. Trying some whack diet that's under calorie deficient for 3 days and giving up. Just eat whole foods, exercise, and focus on how you feel, and you will reap an insane amount of rewards. The sheer amount of stress you can eliminate from your life by consuming whole foods 90% of the time would eliminate so much unhappiness in the world if everyone could achieve that. If you have the choice to eat whole foods, 90% of the time, go and do it if you want. And come back in 6 months and tell me how you feel, because I guarantee you'll feel a lot damn different than what you did 6 months ago. And it's a transformative process where it's something as a human, unless we've experienced it, we don't know how it feels to experience it. And unfortunately, you can be plodding away in life, not doing any of this, and still think you're all good in the hood. So you only know how you can feel when you make the effort to do something in alignment with how we're supposed to be as a human being, getting those psychological needs met. We need sunlight every day, we need the fresh air, we need a lot of water, we need whole foods, and we need love. And if you aren't surrounded by people who really love you, then do what you can for loving yourself first, and it will all flow and follow through afterwards. I keep just staring into space because I'm in sort of like a trance mindset today. I feel like after last night's astral projection. That's the thing. They really reset you when you have an astral projection. I feel like that's for me anyway. Like they really reset my soul and set it on fire in a way. I'm just grateful to be alive. We may not be here tomorrow. We may not be here tomorrow. You know, when you get sick, you think, shit, I'm so grateful I can be healthy because I was healthy yesterday and I'm sick today and I'm in bedridden. I'm so grateful for my health. You know, that's how you feel. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. Something can happen to your loved one or yourself in a heartbeat. The least you can do is give your body a day of love. I just wish I could instill this in everyone that's hurting, that has the choice to make this sort of thing happen. You know, we see people all the time these days on the internet who are in the Paralympics even, who are smashing the gym and they've got no legs. They've got no arms, or they've got no arms, or, you know, and they've been through that drive to realize, holy shit, I have a choice to make shit happen. But unfortunately, sometimes it takes something to happen, or, you know, a drive to happen for someone to be born a certain way or whatever. But if you've got it there and you're using every excuse under the sun to not make it happen, then fucking just go and do it. Stop giving yourself a choice. I wake up and I don't give myself a choice. I just fucking do it. Just do it. Man. fucking get some fire into you and just get it done. Stop dreaming about the life you wish you were living and just make it happen. Don't tell anyone what you're doing. Don't talk about how you want to become. Just become it now. You can become it right now in this second. And do it when you least want to. That's where magic happens. When you stay consistent, when you don't want to fucking do it. I had one of those weeks last week where I didn't want to do it any day at all. Not even one day. I didn't want to go to the gym or run a single day last week. Did I still go and do it? Yep. But yesterday I really didn't want to do it. And still got it done. But then there's weeks that pass by and I really want to do it. So motivation comes and goes. Discipline. Use that shit every day to fucking make it happen. Make your bed every day. Make your bed every day. Damn, it makes a difference. Anyway, it's been 31 minutes. I'm proper rambling. If you can take away anything from this video, take away, I'll say 5 things. Take away, we are a physical being living a spiritual life. We are a spiritual being living a physical life. Set it back to front. This is a vehicle for our soul to experience life on earth and evolve. We are here to evolve our soul, and we are at school for life. For as long as we are here physically with our soul presently, we are here to evolve, and we are at school. School never ends. School never ends. Our soul is at school on this planet. No, nothing happens to you. It happens for you so you can learn and evolve. We are not a victim to life. We are not a victim to incidences in our life. They are happening to us. They are happening for us, not to us. For us, not to us. For us, not to us. In the moment though, it's hard sometimes because you're like, how the fuck can this teach me something? How the fuck can it teach me something? But it will. No matter what it is, you'll find something to learn about yourself somehow. No matter how shit the fucking situation is. Seriously. Really deeply dive into when something seems really shit and you think, why the fuck did this happen? And you'll realize that it happened for you, not to you, so you can evolve and learn and grow from it. That's number 1. Number 2, take a moment as much as you can to notice things that seem insignificant. Take in the colours of trees when you pass them. Take in gratitude for having your physical body working and able. Take in the colour of the sky, the clouds, the presence of other people, and see them for their true, authentic self. And notice that they are another soul being living life. They've been raised differently to you. They've had different life experiences to you. But at the core of everything, we all come, and our consciousness, our soul body comes from a higher source of power that we do not fully comprehend living this physical world. However, we all come from the same puzzle of power. If our source or God was a ball of light power, we are a chip from that power source. And our soul is a little puzzle chip from that ball of power, because we have a conscious awareness. And when we look in that mirror, when we notice our body and we take in conscious awareness, we realize we are everything in one. And it's a feeling that's unexplainable, that we all have. And if you don't have an awareness, focus on what can keep you present in the moment and noticing the things that may seem insignificant really take you to the present moment. And that's something that no one can take from you, no matter where you are in life, no matter where you are. Fuck, if you're in prison, if you're at Kapuka in the army and you cannot leave, you have conscious awareness, which is freeing, no matter what job you're in. No matter how much you hate the job, you may hate it, you can learn to love it through the mind's eye by taking in the present moment and having conscious awareness. That's 2. This is taking longer than I thought to explain. Number 3, focus on what you can control. You can control what goes in your mouth. You can control what comes out your mouth. You can control your authentic self. You can't control other people. You can't control what people say about you. You can't control life events, natural disasters. But you can control what you consume, whether it's food, TV, news, media, movies. Control what you consume, whether it's food and all the other stuff. You can control who you spend your time with, who you hang around and you become. For some reason, as humans, we really cling to sometimes that lower vault of energy. Become the power of energy and the frequency you wish to attract in other people. And if people that you're hanging around aren't making you the absolute best version of yourself, leave the group, leave those people, and become who you wish to hang around, and you'll be mind blown over time what you will attract. That's 3. 4. Make sure you're consuming a lot of water. Filtered water. Make sure you consume a lot of water. Freshly squeezed greens like kale, cucumber, lemons, and drink that shit. Cleanses you, cleans you out a bit. Run, walk, get outside in fresh air. Get all that exercise in when you want to do it the least. And 5, I think number 5 would be the most important of all of them. Five is the discipline of gratitude. Saying every single day how grateful you are, no matter where you're at. Continuously. Become an embodiment of that gratitude. Really feel it. But all of this that I've said isn't all individual, it's all in one. It's all wrapped up in the one thing. And gratitude and the feeling of it and feeling present comes with eating quite clean and eating whole foods and drinking a lot of water. It naturally comes as a product from doing those other 2 things, if that makes sense. Anyway, I'm going to go now. I'm going to go for a long walk, and then I'm going to come home and relax and just be. Thanks for listening.